Hi, everyone. I'm really excited for this conversation today. I'm joined by two powerhouse performers from Angry, Ruckus, and Shamelessly Gorgeous at Lyric Stage. We have Patrice Jean-Baptiste, starring as Anna Campbell, and Yasmeen
Hello.
Duncan, who plays Precious Pete Watson, two characters at the heart of a story about legacy, artistry, and what it means to take up space. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
So I first want, if you guys want to say like who you are, just so that the viewers know exactly.
Sure. I'm Patrice Jean-Baptiste, and I play Anna Campbell in Angry, Ruckus, and Shamelessly Gorgeous.
My name is Yasmeen Duncan, and I play Precious Pete Watson in the play.
Yeah. So this play brings together four women artists from different generations. How does Angry, Ruckus, and Shamelessly Gorgeous explore the tension and the connection between those generations of women in the arts?
Well, to me, the tension is about passing on the torch of the legacy.
Mhm.
And Anna says at the end of the play, when she actually comes to the revelation that it is the right thing to do, um, she says to Betty, "We showed these wild, beautiful girls how to do this stuff, even if they don't know, even if they don't know it, and even if they don't do it the way we did it, they couldn't have done it without us." So it is quintessentially the older generation saying, "We own it. We love that we did it, and now we are going to give it to the next generation to own it and know
Yeah,
that we have value."
I love that.
Mhm.
I would say that I think for young people, I think a lot of us are super hungry and really have a lot of dreams that we want to follow, but don't necessarily always look back to see who came before us or necessarily learning about the people or the things that came before us in whatever work that we're doing. So I think it definitely explores that tension, but also it's coming to a place, especially for young people, to be able to connect with older generations, and be able to ask them what they need from them, to be better and to be on the same level that they are, in their lives.
Yeah. No, I loved those answers. I think that I agree 1000%. I think often like within like there can be like this almost like this fear of someone else kind of coming in and taking over something that you worked so hard to like create. But I agree, Patrice. I think that like passing the torch and definitely like um giving that to the generations coming up is super important. The story centers around an iconic performance that sparked controversy decades earlier. How does the play explore what it means to carry a legacy and what it feels like to pass that legacy to someone else?
Well, the play makes it very clear that it's not easy to pass the legacy. In fact, Anna's exploration of the legacy is kind of forced upon her. She thought she was going to perform. She was fully
Mhm.
ready to do it one last time. She literally says, "All I ask is the chance to have it done with all the same FU energy
Yeah.
that motivated me to do it in the first place." And her real anger comes from the fact that it's not being done by an actress.
Mm.
So she's concerned about preserving the legacy
Mm.
even more than the passing on, such that it is done properly.
Mm.
That is her greatest concern. And that so she has to trust that the legacy will live in whatever form it comes in. And even though Pete's not an actress per se, she has a fabulous vision that will carry on the legacy, which takes a while for Anna to come to terms with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a great answer. I don't really have anything to add to
Um, One of the themes of the play is who gets to tell certain stories and how those stories are told. Why do you think that that conversation is especially important in theater today?
that.
Yasmeen, take that.
Yeah, I think that today, especially right now in theater and also just in the world, like there's so much censorship happening,
Mhm.
and a lot of people either being afraid to say what they want to say, or people being like really bold about it, but facing a lot of consequences. And so I think it's important to highlight voices that aren't necessarily always in the forefront. And in telling this story, being able to see people that you don't really hear from as often is really important, especially because the censorship is so high and people aren't as bold as they'd like to be. So yeah,
Yeah.
being shameless, that's a big part of the show, being shameless
Mm.
and unapologetic. Yeah,
Hmm.
at a time when it's not necessarily looked at as a good thing.
Yeah. I think too, like during this time, like there's like a lot of spaces are being kind of closed off. Like we're not gaining access. And to that point, this production is composed entirely of women of color. What does it mean to you personally to be a part of a project that centers those voices on stage?
I love it. Every time I can be in a production that is all people of color, it's a whole other level for
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
It carries so much depth, so much meaning. It's so special, especially because it has, in my opinion, taken so long for those stories to be at the center as they should have been
Hmm.
for a very
Yeah.
long time. And I commend Boston theaters for saying that it needs to be a priority,
Hmm.
making sure that it happens often and consistently, that the stories are told by the people to whom the story belongs and directed
Hmm.
by the people to whom the story belongs. And um, shout out to Lyric for making sure that that's the case, no matter how hard it is. And all Boston theaters, quite frankly, making sure that that continues to be the case.
Hmm.
The hope is that we will have more and more of that be true in Boston, and in fact, have more Black theaters also telling the
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah. I love to that point, especially about like plays written by people of color for people of color. Um, Audiences might not be familiar with the playwright Pearl Cleage. What makes her voice and perspective so important in contemporary theater for you?
You want
I
that,
would
Yasmin?
say, yeah, I would say that Pearl is really unique because she's a novelist
Hmm.
Right.
first. And I think that she really focuses on telling the stories of the people that she knows best.
Hmm.
Um, and so like she wrote Blues for an Alabama Sky, which is a very popular piece of work that she wrote. And just other exploring other facets of Black life and especially Black life for Black women in her
Mhm.
plays, which I think is really beautiful. And I think in this play specifically, she just does a really great job of exploring all of the different themes of the generational differences, of having dreams, of age, of Black women having a voice, of everything. So I think she's just really unique at being able to blend all of the things together and like a really solid piece of work.
Mm.
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
so
can I add to
yeah,
that?
of course.
I would love to say, if you, unless you want to finish what you're thinking, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. You go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say to Yasmin's point, which I really appreciate, that using the voices and talking from the perspective of Black women
Hmm.
um, with comedy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't always have to be death and drama with us.
Hmm.
We can
Hmm.
be funny.
Yeah. Yes. No,
And I
yeah.
love that she does that.
Yeah, which I think is so important to like show the joy. I think a lot of the times when we are written about, it's through the lens of trauma. And I think
Mhm.
that a lot of the time we get through the trauma and the struggle with through joy, through laughter, through comedy. So I think it's so important that like she's inserting that like throughout the play. Something that I love about like the one word that I love about in the play is ruckus because I think that like oftentimes we like I'm Latina, so in ruckus like to us is like revolu kind of, so we think it's like of this big mess, and I think that within the play, Ruckus is like, no, it's you taking up space. You know, it's yes, we are shamelessly gorgeous. Yes, we can be angry, but I think like the ruckus is the taking up space, and I think that Pearl Cleage does such a great job of doing that for women of color.
That's awesome.
Your characters come from very different artistic backgrounds and experiences. What surprised you the most when you stepped into your role?
For me, like how much I related to my character.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow. So there's definitely the diva aspect that I was like, I'm really kind of digging this a little too much.
I love that.
And the permission
Hmm.
to access that side of myself.
Yes.
I think Anna takes it to a whole different level where she can be, quite frankly, really inconsiderate
Hmm.
of people in
Hmm.
her life. But the fun of accessing the bold diva raucousness
Hmm.
is something that surprised me.
Yeah.
I would say for Pete, she's so outgoing and she's so bold and she's so unapologetic and she just gets what she wants and she goes for it anyway, no matter what anybody says. And for me, that's like so, it's like not too different for me, but it's a little different for me.
Hmm.
But I think one thing that surprised me about her, with all of that, she's really so sincere and like down to earth.
Mm.
And she
Hmm.
actually really, really cares. And I think that's something that surprised me in like exploring and playing the character is that she just is a girl with a dream and she's really sincere about and passionate about what she wants to do. So yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah. Um, Patrice, you had mentioned like the humor of it all earlier. And I want to go back to that real quick because I feel like the play balances humor with some very real conversations about feminism, artistic ownership, and power. How
Mhm.
does the production manage to hold both of those tones at the same time?
You mean humor and feminism?
Yeah, humor, feminism, like your artistic ownership, like you said yourself, that Anna is very like kind of like she stands within like her power, right? And her
Yes,
presence.
yes, yes.
How do you feel like the play does a good job of balancing both?
Yeah, so I guess when I think of Betty and Anna keeping this legacy alive beyond the United States for 3 decades in Amsterdam, not always successful the entire time, but making sure that it doesn't die, right? Just
Hmm.
because the United States decided that this woman presenting in the nude was unacceptable really talks about the power of the feminine
Yeah.
and keeping that at the center of who they were. Even
Hmm.
though Anna moved on to other classics, they started with this: I'm going to use my full body
Hmm.
to let all these beautiful words out, because she said she loved August's words. She wasn't mad at him. She loves his writing, but she used her full being to tell the story. So that you couldn't get more powerful feminism
Yeah.
than that.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree. I want to talk about the rehearsal process for you guys. What was it like working with the cast? I know it's like a smaller cast. There's four of you. And how was it working with like the creative team to bring your characters to life?
I'll start. I think that it's really, first of all, I love small, small casts. To be able to connect with each and every single person individually and like on a deeper level than like in time than you normally would have if you had like a cast of 10 or more, is really special. And I think it makes a big difference when you're on stage together because you like know you have each other's back and that you're together. So that's like one thing I really love about the cast in general and just like the numbers are they're great and just connection. And I would also say with the team, it's been wonderful to be able to kind of explore everything together. Even the director, the designer, the stage manager, like we have worked all together to be able to piece everything together whether it be acting moments, whether it be costumes, whether it be uh, rain sounds, like all of that had to come together, and we all had to think about those things together and how they would work. And I think everyone did a beautiful job coming together to make this show what it is.
Completely agree with Yasmeen. I feel like the beauty was working through um, challenges of time, of circumstance, um, and focusing on the value of the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the biggest gift to me is, you know, those who are with us all the way through. I mean, we've got an amazing crew. We've got our costumer, we have our stage manager, we have our assistant stage manager, who are as invested in the story and the telling of the story as we are as actors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lovely feeling to know you are supported and cared for. I mean, down to the nitty gritty details of making sure our dressing rooms are together and our costumes are in shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's fabulous because we know, okay, we have this foundation from which we will
Mm-hmm.
together really tell this powerful story.
Yeah.
And we make sure we find a way to bond before each telling of the story with just a little circle of
Mm-hmm.
love to then go tell the story together.
That's beautiful. Without giving too much away, because I'm one of those people that I'm like, no spoilers, but without giving too much away, what do you hope audiences walk away thinking about after seeing this play?
Mm. I hope audiences take away truth, the realism of aging
Mm-hmm.
that we will all experience, the struggle of acceptance, self-acceptance
Mm-hmm.
as women. I think women, men, any gender, self-acceptance is such a powerful theme in this piece.
Mm-hmm.
And the attempt at doing so and fighting through the challenge of doing it with elegance and with grace.
Mm-hmm.
Something I hope they take away.
Yeah.
I just hope that audiences walk away feeling empowered. And empowered to do the things that they want to do and be the person that they want to be.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you could describe Angry, Ruckus, and Shamelessly Gorgeous in 3 words for listeners who might be deciding whether to come to see it, what would they be?
I would say heartfelt, funny, and engaging.
I love that.
I would say colorful, bold, and I'm gonna also have to go with funny.
Yeah, oh, I love that. I love that. Patrice and Yasmeen, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Can you let our listeners know where they can go see Angry, Ruckus, and Shamelessly Gorgeous?
Yes, you can come to the Lyric Stage at 140 Clarendon Street. Tell me I got the address right, please. Okay. Happening now through April 12th. And you should know it is tight. I believe it's 90 minutes. There's no intermission. You're going to have a good time. It's going to be a quick good time. You can have dinner before, you can have dinner after, and it's worth coming to.
Yes, I love that. So you guys heard it here first. Please go check out Angry, Ruckus, and Shamelessly Gorgeous. Patrice and Jasmine, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.